Going into a lunge, shield cast, switch hands, repeat. In a flared position, and as I have to bring it down, it goes contracted. Figure 8, cannonball grip, external rotation, shoulder press, switch hands. So going to do this 8 times. It's April 12th, 6:30 or 6:40, and today I'm working on rotational and oscillating movements. So oscillating or alternating. So alternating, like moving side to side, or and rotating cross body. The reason for doing that is most of daily movement is walking or running, which is where your body is shifting from side to side. Rarely ever do we do things where we do the strict kind of like pressing or squatting that we do in the gym. And so if we don't train the system of the body that moves side to side, I think, and focus a lot more on the strict up and down and front and back stuff, I think it disproportionately develops the body, because the body is meant to be more fluid and side to side and rotational than that strict front back side to side, or front back up and down. Anyway, for the so today I'm going to use everything: the kettlebells, the steel mace, the steel club, for the first set of movements, doing tactical clean to external rotation shoulder press. Using a 25-pound kettlebell and doing 10 reps on each side. So obviously the shoulder press involves the shoulder, but notice how as I rotate my body externally, my core and obliques have to stay engaged. And also as I'm rotating externally, my lats flare out. So it goes from a contracted position to a flared position when I press the kettlebell, and the rotation kind of exaggerates that component. After 10 each side of that, doing 10 or 15 alternating 10 to 2s with my 15-pound mace. So earlier I was saying the press flares it out. With the steel mace, here the lat's in a flared position, and as I have to bring it down, it goes contracted. And the previous movement was rotating inward or outwards with the press. With the 10 to toe, you're rotating into the body, so it's an inside rotation. I may have miscounted, but I was going for 15. And another thing is, like with the press, when I'm doing that, the lats flaring out with the steel mace 10 to 2s, it goes from flared over here to a pull. And then for the final movement in this circuit slash triset, going to do alternating outside mills. So outside mill, switch hands, outside mill, switch hands. Going for 10. Trying to keep my rest minimal. So with the Clubbell outside alternating mills, again that same concept of side to side movement between all three exercises. But so the steel mace 10 to 2 was an inside pull. With the outside mill, I'm turning out and pulling. So that same action of like pulling with the lats happens, but it's towards the outside. So yeah, it's good to work all these different kinds of rotations and inside, like, so it's so these inside ones are called inside throwing patterns, the outside ones are called outside throwing patterns. Yeah, and one's a pull sort of, and the first exercise is a push towards the outside, the last exercise is a pull towards the outside, the one in the between is a pull towards the inside. You can also do pushes towards the inside, which is probably what I'll do next. I'll record one more set. That was my third. Let me go a little heavier with my 50-pound kettlebell. I'll try to go heavier on all exercises, but probably, I don't know if I'll do the same amount of reps, but let's see how this goes. Or no, outside, sorry. Decided to go for 8. With the steel mace, I haven't done this in a while, but I'm going to do single arm 10 to 2s with the 25. I know I can do it, but it's not my strongest, but let's go for it anyway. Instead of going for 15, I'll probably go for 8 again. The heavier weights expose imbalances. So with that one, I did go for more than 8. I was feeling stronger, but I did notice while going to one side, it was slightly harder. Doing the outside mills with the 25-pound club is also going to be quite hard, but I'll go for at least 5, but depending how it feels, I'll do more. Six is good. So yeah, anyway, that was the last set. I might do one more deload because some of those reps didn't feel right, and I like to end off in clean feeling reps, so I'll probably do one more and then on to something else. So now focusing on the opposite of everything that I did in the first set of exercises. So first one was a tactical clean to outside rotation shoulder press. This time I'm going to do an outside tactical clean to an inside shoulder press. So it looks like this. So inside shoulder press, outside rotation, inside shoulder press, outside rotation, inside. Going to do this for 10. I don't know if it's obvious, but when I have the kettlebell here, I have my body like over here to offset the weight. Then as I push it, I then have to switch it to come here and then press. So it's just little things like that as to how your body moves when the center of balance shifts from side to side. That gets worked while doing this. So this might be a kind of an awkward movement because most people who do the steel mace are used to pulling it in. Now we're going to reverse that, and that looks like this. I'm just going to call these negative 360s or reverse 360s. Or 2 to 10s even. I notice that although, well, let me finish this. So what I noticed with that is my body is so used to pulling it inwards that doing the reverse version of it, my core gets activated a lot differently than regular 10 to 2s, and like it doesn't feel, it feels like that movement I need to do it more, because I think like the muscles involved in pulling it inwards are getting so overdeveloped, or not overdeveloped, are much stronger, that like personally I think it needs to maybe not be exactly even. There are definitely movements, like for example walking is definitely something you're going to walk front more than you walk backwards, and it makes sense for the muscles involved in moving forwards to be a lot stronger and a lot more enduring than the ones that move backwards. But and so similarly, like for example with squats, you also want to do deadlifts or and stuff like that. So it's always good to do the reverse of it. And I think when I do the steel mace stuff a lot, there's a lot of inside rotation but not so much outside rotation, and I think that trains that. Then with the club, I was doing alternating outside mills. Now I'm going to do alternating inside mills. So and another thing about doing these side to side movements is any imbalance between one side to the other starts becoming very apparent, because it's the exact same movement being performed from one side to the other. So yeah, this is what I'm doing for now. Going to do, that was my third set, going to do one more, then on to something else. So for the next set of movements, so between the first two sets or trisets, there was a lot of like outside rotation, but you can also do that like side to side oscillating stuff while staying close to the body. So with the kettlebell, you can do it using figure eights. You can even do it using staggered swings, but staggered alternating swings, but that's besides the point. Figure eight involves like a lot of I don't know if dynamic's the right word, but dynamic movement and a rotation and stuff. Anyway, looks like this. So figure eight, cannonball grip, external rotation, shoulder press, switch hands. So going to do this 8 times. The cannonball grip forces like your shoulders to work a little harder because the weight's more unstable when you hold it that way. After that, going to do 8 alternating figure 8 cleans. So it looks like this. I might just go for 5. Yeah, let's do 5. No, let's do 8. After that, going to do figure 8 snatches, alternated. So similar movement, but going into a snatch this time. When it gets tiring, or after a while it gets tiring, and then I tend to lose rhythm, but if I keep at it, my endurance will improve, and then I should not have a problem. Plus, it's still pretty cold outside, and my fingers are starting to get a little numb, and so the sensation isn't the same. Then with the steel mace, going to do alternating side 360s with the front swing. So it looks like this. So 360 front, switch hands. So notice how I'm switching the overhand as the weight rebounds. A muscle that gets worked a lot while doing 360s is the bicep. Like keeping control of the mace and being able to do all that rebound work requires the biceps to be really engaged. And then obviously the shoulders and back and stuff, but the abs is another big one. Then with the 15-pound club, so this is not as fluid as the previous 2 exercises, but so going into a lunge, shield cast, switch hands, repeat. Getting some legs involved. A lot of rotation, side to side, weight change. So yeah, this is going to be the final complex. Might end off with some kettlebell juggling after I do a couple more sets of this. So yeah, let's see how all of this turns out. Alright, a quick kettlebell juggling session while there's still a decent amount of light. I'm going to add some clips to the end of this video. It's from a workout from yesterday. One of the gyms that I go to had like strongman equipment stashed to the side, and then we asked him if we could use it, yeah, I recorded some videos of that. Not enough to make a full video out of it, so I thought I'd just tag it on to the end of this. But yeah, let's just get straight to some kettlebell juggling. It is cold, and my fingers aren't too happy when the kettlebell lands when it's cold. Ah. Ooh. Whew. I like that. I made a lot of that up on the fly, and usually when I'm thinking about things as I juggle, I tend to drop it, but I was able to land stuff, so that was cool. Not going to push the envelope too much today. I haven't recorded videos, but I've been going pretty decent long sessions at the gym. One of the things I've been doing is playing online chess. I used to play chess a lot more as a kid. Well, not a lot more. I used to play chess as a kid, but not seriously. And then recently, since YouTube Playables had this multiplayer chess that I started playing, that I started liking to play. I don't know, for whatever reason, I've gotten kind of obsessed with it. And so now I just spend like an hour on like the Stairmaster or treadmill just playing chess, which makes cardio like a lot easier to get through because each game lasts like a decent amount of time, and I'm not really like thinking about the pain or the discomfort of the cardio, and I'm just lost in the game. And by the time I'm done with like 2 games, I'm like already on it for like 40 minutes. So yeah. Alright, just one more flow and then I think I'm gonna head in. That ending was a little sloppy, but I'm kind of happy with that. Yeah, that's all for today's video. It's getting pretty dark. UFC fights on tonight. I'll add some strongman clips or stuff that I did yesterday after this. But yeah, that's all for today's video, except for the clips at the end. See you all in the next one. If you have any questions and stuff about rotation, oscillation, or anything you just guys want to say about stuff that you notice, leave it in the comments. I get back to pretty much everything. What?